Hit up Rose NBA on Twitter. If you need any sort of grind, he will be the man for you. Domination, Spotlight Sims, My Team Unlimited, and even more. The link to his Twitter will be down below in the description. Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. In this video today, we are going to be breaking down not only the cards that were released today in both of these sets, in both the Dream Team and obviously the 2012 USA team, but we're going to be talking about which squad is better 2K wise, right? There's been arguments, right, how the 2012 team competes with the Dream Team in real life, but what about in 2K terms? Which team is better, first of all, in 2K, and breaking down the cards in general. So we're just going to go position by position, right, over all these types of matchups. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving my opinion on which team is better, and I want you guys to be involved. So there is going to be a poll down below in the description. There's going to be a link to the Twitter. First of all, follow me on Twitter, and second of all, vote in the poll because I want your guys' opinion on what team would be better, the 2012 USA team that you guys can see right here, or the Dream Teams. Now, before we talk about the Dream Team, I do want you guys to know that Charles Barkley is not on here because I don't think 2K has his rights. But everybody else should be at least pictured in here. But Magic Johnson to start things off for the Dream Team at the point guard position. And he's a top point guard in the game. So if you look at Magic Johnson and what he gives you, he's going to be a top point guard in the game because he's 6'9", has the Curry escape, can just move and groove, and is good on defense. And then you look at the team 2012 Team USA's point guard, and that was Chris Paul, okay? Now, obviously, you might want to plug in Deron Williams, Russell Westbrook over Chris Paul, but they're all going to basically be the same. Plus, I wanted to give the accurate starting lineup of the two. So, obviously, with the Magic Johnson versus Chris Paul matchup, you know what's going to happen in that matchup. And trust me when I tell you that Chris Paul would get fried like a piece of bacon within that matchup alone. So, not a good matchup for the 2012 team. Definitely a big advantage for the Dream Team. Next, we get the MJ versus Kobe matchup. Now, imagine if we could just go back and just experience this, right? The Team USA 2012 team versus the Dream Team. That matchup would have just been insane with Kobe and MJ. And I mean, there's debates who's the better player all the time. So even in 2K, it's the same debate in real life. Who's better between MJ and Kobe? Ultimately, it's preference based. They're the same height, both got similar releases, and they're both going to give you about the same thing. Next, we get Scottie Pippen, right, for the Dream Team at the starting small forward position. And he's up against arguably one of the best cards in all of 2K in the XM-based LeBron. Now, I know the XM-based LeBron does have the shooting guard eligibility, but on the Dream Team, or not the Dream Team, on the 2012 USA team, he did play the small forward position. That's where I have him right here. So, I mean, I think LeBron definitely has a big advantage over Scottie Pippen, but you can make that argument if you are a big Scottie Pippen stan. Next, we get Larry Bird, obviously here. Now, this Larry Bird does not have steady shooter, so if you are on current gen and want to use Larry Bird, you absolutely can. But he's basically the same as the added position one. Outside of that, he obviously is a little bit better, but he is an invincible card, so he's going to be able to do his thing. But he's up against Kevin Durant. Basically an invincible Kevin Durant. It's not an invincible card, but it might as well be. Both have releases on very quick. I wish KD's was only on quick. And again, another matchup which I think is super close, right? So they're both at the shooting guard position and the power forward position between Kevin Durant and Larry Bird. I think it's very close. I think I'd give this slight edge to a Kevin Durant card, but I don't know. Invincible Larry Bird versus basically a flawless Kevin Durant. You guys be the judge. That's a tough matchup. Then we get a Tyson Chandler that can hardly shoot for Team USA 2012 team. It's kind of amazing how he was a starting center versus David Robinson invincible card. Now, I'm not going to sit here and bash Tyson Chandler too much. I'm just going to give a massive shout out to how good this David Robinson card is. This card's one of the best cards in the game, and you can make the argument he's a top 3 card in all of 2K. So when it comes to this matchup, it's a massive edge towards the Dream Team. So at the point guard and center positions, I give the edge to the Dream Team, but then the rest of the positions, the overall edge is with the 2012 team. So far, in my estimation, in my opinion, it's a pretty even matchup. Like, if we would put these two squads together, I think it would be a very, very good game to just watch it and be a spectator of. At the backup point guard position for the Dream Team, we do see John Stockton. Now, for this, they don't have another option at the point guard position. He literally has to play. And his matchup is James Harden for the 2012 team. James Harden definitely has the advantage here because he's taller, can move just that little bit better for the time we're in. So obviously, starting it off with the 2012 team having an advantage. At the shooting guard position, we have the Andre Iguodala versus Clyde Drexler matchup. Now, if you are on next gen, you know what jump shot 5 is about. That is a very good jump shot for Clyde Drexler. But if you're on current gen, I don't know whether Andre Iguodala or Clyde Drexler is better. I'm guessing Clyde Drexler still has the advantage by a small margin, but it's not necessarily like a game-breaking advantage, right? Iggy's going to be able to hold it down on next gen. Clyde's going to be good on both gens, and so is Iggy. I don't want to say Iggy's not good on both gens because he definitely is as well. Small forward Chris Mullin versus Carmelo Anthony matchup. Now, I will say about Carmelo Anthony, I'm not the biggest Melo fan in 2K, as a lot of people aren't, but this is our first Carmelo Anthony with a very quick release, so maybe on next gen, he'll be able to put some things together. Now, that's just high hopes, especially when you're comparing him to Chris Mullin, who you know what you're going to get. Chris Mullin is going to be absolutely knocked down, and I don't think there's going to be any question about that. Chris Mullin is going to be one of the best shooters in all of 2K. So when you're comparing Carmelo Anthony and hoping he's going to be very good versus a guy in Chris Mullin who you know is going to be good, that's just a tough kind of comparison right there. You get Karl Malone here at the 4 versus Kevin Love, and both of these cards are intriguing. We'll start off with Kevin Love. Kevin Love base on very quick, I'm guessing is going to be one of the smoothest releases in the game. My guess, because I can't really confirm that without knowing, but should be one of the smoothest releases in the game. Yes, defensively, he's not the best, but offensively, as far as stretch bigs are concerned, you got to make the case that Kevin Love is one of the best. And on the flip side, Karl Malone, as far as complete power forwards are concerned, he's one of the best, man. There's not one thing on the basketball court that Karl Malone cannot do. And then at the center position, we do see Anthony Davis for Team USA 2012 team versus Christian Laettner. Now, both these cards are good. Anthony Davis is probably going to be a decent amount better on current gen if I had to guess, especially with Laettner's release. We don't necessarily know what that's going to be like. Now on next gen, the way Christian Laettner probably can move, I'm not hating on Christian Laettner on next gen, but I do think Anthony Davis has a slight edge, but I'm not exactly sure. Now we're just going to stick with 10-man rotations here. We're not going to include Patrick Ewing, who's a bona fide scrub. We're not going to include Deron Williams or Russell Westbrook. I just threw them into this squad just to show every card that did get released today. So let's just tally up the points that Team USA has better, right? I'm going to just start it off by saying Kobe and MJ is going to be a tie, but the rest of it, we should have an advantage. So for Team USA, Chris Paul versus Magic Johnson. Magic has the edge. So 1 point for the Dream Team. Kobe, MJ, that's a wash. We're not even going to talk about that. LeBron versus Scottie Pippen. LeBron has the advantage, so it's 1-1. 2012 Team USA, Kevin Durant versus Larry Bird. I'm going to give this slight edge to Kevin Durant in this matchup. Now, you can make the debate Larry Bird's better, but I think Kevin Durant has that slight edge just with his movement. So we got 2-1. The Team USA 2012 team is up. Then we got Tyson Chandler versus David Robinson, and that's no debate. We know D-Rob is going to be better. So far, it's 2-2. Moving on to the bench, James Harden versus John Stockton. And gosh, John Stockton's going to get fried like a piece of bacon. Give me the 2012 Dream Team James Harden over John Stockton. Next matchup, we do get Clyde Drexler versus Andre Iguodala. I'll take Clyde by a slight edge over Iggy. Now, next is a tough one. I want to say Melo's going to be good with his new jump shot, but how can you take Carmelo over Chris Mullin, who you know is going to be good? Like, you know what Chris Mullin's going to do for you. You know he's going to be good. Give the advantage to Chris Mullin. Next up, we do see Karl Malone versus Kevin Love, and as much as I love Kevin Love, I personally cannot take him over Karl Malone. So it's 5-3-1. Dream Team is up, and then obviously I'll take a Disney over Christian Laettner. So in my estimation, the Dream Team is just a slight bit better. 5 guys are better for the Dream Team. 4 guys are better for Team USA. And then we do got 1 tie. Now, obviously, the gap between Magic Johnson and Chris Paul and Tyson Chandler, then David Robinson is bigger than the gap between Larry Bird and Kevin Durant. But at the same token, the gap between James Harden and John Stockton is bigger than the gap between Clyde and Andre Iguodala. So I actually think both of these squads are super close. Super close. I need your guys' help. Who do you guys think is the better squad? Who do you guys think, if you played 2K with, you'd have more success with? The Dream Team or the 2012 Team USA team. Click that link, go vote on Twitter, and follow me on Twitter if you haven't yet, because I'm very intrigued to see your guys' thoughts on this, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.